guys, in today's video I wanted to talk about the best drugstore foundations. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. Also, follow me on Instagram. It's a fun time over there. And I will link every foundation that I talk about. I just maybe, how old am I? 28. Maybe like 5-6 years ago, just got into higher end foundations and just makeup in general. I've always been a drugstore kind of gal, and weekly, if not daily, I'm using a drugstore foundation or at least mixing it in with a higher end foundation. I am a full coverage kind of gal. I have acne on and off, acne scarring, large pores. Just wanted to put that out there if you're curious my skin type, and let's jump into foundations. So first, oh, hello. First, we're gonna talk about the Maybelline 24-Hour Super Stay. Is that still called Super Stay? Yeah, okay. So this is the reformulated foundation, and when I was in high school, I wore the original Maybelline 24-Hour Super Stay, which was the best, like I'll still say it, the best foundation ever. And it came out a couple years ago with the reformulated, the new formula. So for each one, I'm gonna do a little swatch for you. This shade I have is in Sun Beige, which is a tan shade. They have a ton of colors. This foundation is really good coverage. It is buildable, but for me, I only need one layer. It gives me all the coverage I need in just one go around. So that's just one pump. It does like half of my face. You don't need a lot of it at all. Like I said, there's a ton of colors. The only thing that I would have to say about it is that it does get a little cakey looking if you do overdo it. I definitely recommend a good moisturizer under, which I recommend serum, moisturizer, primer under all foundations, no matter how inexpensive or expensive. Personally for me, I recommend that. But as you can see, it's drying down. It doesn't oxidate too much, like change color, but I definitely highly recommend it. It is not as good as the original. There's no way anything will ever be as good as the original. I just remember it being like so stinking good. But obviously when they came out with the new formulation, is that a word? Formulation? Yes. I had to, formula? Oh my gosh, I need to go back to school. I had to try it out, and I use it all the time. I have like 3 different colors because it was hard for me to find like the exact shade, but Sun Beige works really good. These are in no particular order, by the way. I'm just grabbing from my pile. So next we're gonna talk about, okay, I guess we're gonna talk about, this is the best drugstore foundation. Out of all of these, I would choose this one. I use this. I go through like 3 of these a month. Okay, maybe I'm being dramatic, maybe 2. I'll mix this in with a foundation. I'll use it on its own. It's the best foundation ever. It is by Wet n Wild. The Photo Focus foundation in Desert Beige is my like go-to color. It's the perfect color for me. It comes with like a thing like that, which is fine. I just take it and like plop it on my face and use my brush to blend it in. So it low-key smells like paint thinner, which I've mentioned before, because if you've never seen a video of mine doing makeup, you wouldn't know that I use that all the time. So it's super thin. Not super thin, but it's not like thick and chunky. They do have a bunch of colors to choose from. Great range. This is literally like $3 on Amazon. I just ordered like a 3-pack on Amazon, and they're like $3 each. It just doesn't make sense to me. It has a beautiful finish. Oh, I meant to mention in the last one, the Super Stay has a matte finish. This is a closer to matte finish, but it's not like, it doesn't like suck into your pores, you know what I mean? Like it lays beautifully on the skin. I will literally wear this on my wedding day, like I'm not even being dramatic. It's so good. It really blurs out your pores, I feel like. It's just beautiful, and it's so cheap. Like you cannot go wrong going to try this. Like what do you have to lose? $3? Like, don't go to Burger King tomorrow and get a Junior Whopper. All right, next we have the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear by L'Oreal. This is not like my favorite, but it is a really good foundation. Super good shade range. It's not a super full coverage. It's more of like a medium coverage, but really, really buildable. It builds really well. This one I have in the shade 460. It just says 460. I think I ripped some of it off. This is like a little bit too light for my self tanner shade, but it's great to throw on, throw a powder and a little bronzer on, and you're good to go. It does last a great while. Everything like lays on top of it really nice. Concealer, powders, all that stuff. So it is a really good foundation. It's just not as full coverage as I like, but on those days where it's like no makeup days, or if you like a more medium coverage foundation, it's really, really good. Very moisturizing. It has sunscreen. It says it's breathable, which I totally agree with. It's very light. It feels like you're wearing like a very like tinted moisturizer, or just even a moisturizer. So I will definitely be repurchasing this. I need to get a darker color. Actually, now that it's winter, maybe not, but it's really good. Okay, next is another one that I've mentioned a million times before. This is the Revlon Full Cover Foundation. I have it in the shade 390. They have a million different shades of this one. And this foundation is different because it's like a mousse. Do you see how it's not going anywhere? Like, that's a mousse. And before I used this foundation, I hadn't used like a moussey foundation since like my Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse days. And I didn't understand. I was like, what is going on? I think I used it for the first time in a video. And I was like, oh, this is interesting, but it's so fluffy and puffy and like whipped. Can you see that going onto my hand? Like, I wore this like straight for like 4 or 5 months. Like, this was all I would wear, which I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why don't I go back to wearing that? Like, what is wrong with me? But I would get, like, honest, I'm not lying. Like, why would I lie? I would get so many compliments on my skin. People would compliment my makeup. People would compliment how beautiful my skin looked. And I was like, what the heck? Like, what is happening? And I was wearing that foundation. So here it is. It is not matte. It says it's matte. Okay, I'd say it's like a natural finish, like semi-matte, because you can see, do you see that on my hand? It gives a really, I need a new makeup wipe. It gives a really natural finish to your skin. Lays on the skin beautifully, and it's not super drying or anything. You can definitely feel it on your skin because it's like that whipped texture. Am I making sense? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't feel like you just have a moisturizer on. Like, you can definitely tell you have makeup on, but the finish is so gorgeous. And I personally don't mind that feeling like of having makeup on my face, because I rather have makeup on my face than not. That's just personally me. But it's a really, really, really good full coverage. And I love it. And I used to talk about it all the time and rave about it. And it's just good. It's just that good. Okay, next is a blast from the past. L'Oreal True Match. Who hasn't used this? Like, if you're watching this video and you haven't used this, like, please just go add this to your cart on Target or like Walgreens. Like, what are you doing? This foundation, I'm wearing it today. I have these two mixed. The Wet n Wild. I always mix my foundations. I don't know, that's just the kind of gal I am. So this is an N7, which is like it's a very tan, it looks like orange in this bottle, which is why I mix it. It's just so good. I mean, like, just going back, like, if you haven't used this in a couple years, just go and get it. Like, you just need it. Oh my God. Yeah, this is the thing, is that you dump out way too flipping much. That's the only thing. Like, I wish it had some kind of pump or something. The coverage is just so good. It's so thin. You don't get cakey. It's buildable. It's great coverage. I'd say like medium to full coverage. And everything lays on top of it beautifully. They have a trillion different colors for whatever skin tone you are. So here it is. It gives you a beautiful, beautiful natural finish. It does have SPF. It's just like, I could go on for days. Like, this is a must have, and I will just like repurchase them to make sure that I have them, because I'll, you know, I'll see it in my makeup closet and be like, you know what? I'm gonna wear her today, because who can't go wrong with the L'Oreal True Match? Okay, and then the last foundation I'm gonna talk about today is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. So when Tati Westbrook was on YouTube, she tried this and like used it all the time, and it's so good. Like, it's so good. If you have not tried this foundation, you need to try this foundation. It's full coverage. I have it in the color 07 Sand, and it is a little bit thicker, but the coverage is perfection. Your skin looks so good. I wore this to my friend's wedding, and it photographs beautifully. It's gorgeous. I'd say it's like a semi-matte finish, more of like a natural finish. Everything lays on top of it, powders. It is buildable, but I don't even need to build it. What really sold it for me was that it was in the 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, which was like, okay, so I don't have to put like 2 layers of foundation on to get the coverage I want. Like, I knew it was gonna have, or I didn't know, but what drew me to it was that it had the 2-in-1, that it would have really good coverage. So if you haven't tried that one, definitely give it a try. It's really, really, really good. I've never tried anything like it. Like, I don't know what I would compare it to. It has that thicker consistency, but the coverage is so good. Oh my God, I almost dropped it. All right, that is enough for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. Like I said, everything will be linked in the description, and I'll see you guys in my next video.